Hey guys, welcome back to BoozeRevooze in Black and White. I am Domingo, and today we are doing, whatever, Angel's Envy Bourbon. But just real quick, if you didn't get a chance to go see all 6 episodes of our Rye Whiskey Mini-series, I hope you guys saw those and can see them, and let me know what you guys thought. If you guys like that kind of thing, let me know. We can do more. We can do bourbon, beer, wine, tequila. Tequila will actually be coming up in April, getting in ready for May and June and July. So yeah, let's jump into this. Angel's Envy Bourbon, 43.3% alcohol by volume. This is a special bourbon. It's been out for a couple years, so many of you have had it or know about it already. Or at least seen it on the store shelves, and maybe just not have pulled the trigger. It's from the cellars of Lincoln Henderson. Lincoln Henderson, if you don't know who that is an iconic name in bourbon. He was he's in the Bourbon Hall of Fame. But he was the master distiller for Brown-Forman for 35, 40 years, something crazy like that. He was the man. He had his hands in Old Forester. He was the guy behind Gentleman Jack, the Jack Daniels single barrel series. So, you know, if you go to a store and they actually bought an entire barrel, that's really cool. He's had a part in all those. And then you can buy it at regular anyways. Yeah, Woodford Reserve. I mean, again, the list goes on. Major titles in bourbon. So, let's get into this one. He retired and then came back in 2006 to work with his son to make Angel's Envy. They made it a little bit, I don't want to say they made it differently, but they did a little bit different. So it is a bourbon, and to satisfy that, you know, a minimum of 51% corn. I don't know the exact grain bill for this particular whiskey, but again, by law, a minimum of 51% corn, aged a minimum of 2 years on brand new charred oak barrels. American charred oak barrels. So once that's satisfied as a bourbon, they take it out, and now it's a bourbon. Take it out of the barrel, now it's a bourbon. And then they put it in to port wine casks. Now, port is a fortified wine from Portugal. I believe there are specific grapes that they can use to make a port, but yeah, I'm sorry, Bane, the other boozer you guys just texted me and it showed up on my iPad. I'm gonna out you, dude. The question was, do your cats lick themselves? Yeah, that's how they bathe. Yeah, okay, at any rate. So, like I said, 86.6 proof on this one. They do make 2 other offerings for Angel's Envy. It's this one here is their entry level. And then they have a cask strength version of this same one with the port casks. 123 proof, I believe is what it said. And then they make a rye whiskey that they age in rum barrels. So, that's that. Very small batch. They're making these batches anywhere from 8 to 12 barrels at a time, which is extremely small batches. So the quality should definitely be there. Yeah, so here we go. Bourbon aged in port barrels for 6 months. Let's see what it smells like. Sweet, smells sweet. I want to say candied fruit, maybe even a little bit of a cotton candy type smell, a little vanilla, almost a lightly roasted peanut, a nuttiness to it. I don't know. I mean, vanilla, yeah, caramel, a little bit of oak. I mean, typical bourbon qualities. But then there's a little bit of raisin. Huh, interesting. Mapley flavors. Okay, so real quick, typical bourbon characteristics, you're getting that heaviness from the corn, that sweetness. I mean, you're getting vanilla, deep, dark oak, a little bit of charred, almost dark chocolate flavors from the char, a little bit of brown spice. Those sorts of qualities are there, but they're faint. The sweetness is coming through big time. Raisins, maple syrup. I mean, not like log cabin maple syrup or Aunt Jemima. I mean like real 100% maple syrup. Very distinct flavor. There's a fruitiness about it, like a red berry jam of some sort. Not quite raspberry, but something like that. I don't know. Just a fruity compote characteristic. A little bit of marzipan. Yeah, the chocolate definitely comes through, which I like. The dark, bitter chocolate. And I'm pretty sure that's the oak that's doing that, which is still pretty nice to have. But it's sweeter. I still think a lot of you guys will enjoy this. Some of you may not. I think this would be a fantastic little, almost entry level or introductory level whiskey into bourbon. So someone that already drinks the Canadian stuff, Crown Royal, even Pendleton, stuff like that, and then can do the Irish whiskeys, which aren't nearly as heavy or as boastful as a bourbon, and kind of want to get into the bourbons. I wouldn't recommend starting those guys out at a Knob Creek or anything like that. Angel's Envy, I think it could be a nice little segue. That sweetness kind of carries through from the Canadian whiskey, and yet it's still got enough of that bourbon characteristics where it will translate for when they try their second or third or fourth brand or style of whiskey or brand of bourbon. Yeah, I can taste like sort of a wine characteristic. I am a big wine drinker. I do actually need to do more wine episodes. I know a lot of you guys don't want to hear that, but that's just how I roll. I do need to get back into that for this show. Not necessarily as much port. I mean, there are the fruity components from the Ruby Port cask, but it tastes more like a sherry. Almost, if you've had sherry, like a Pedro Eminis, a little bit of an Oloroso type sherry, maybe if you've had Madeira, you kind of get those characteristics. Maybe even a little bit, I mean, it's a stretch, a little bit of Marsala. Maybe if you had chicken Marsala, you get that kind of a wine flavor. That's from Marsala wine. Maybe that'll help you relate and kind of connect that dot to this this flavor that I'm getting. Yeah, I like this. Again, I think the higher alcohol version would be a lot better. Even if you couldn't get the cask strength, I'd love to see them even offer this at 50% alcohol, 100 proof. I think that would step it up that much more. It's a good whiskey. It's not a great whiskey, but I like the play. They're trying to do different things with the bourbons and not kind of keeping it as cookie cutter. I mean, because there's not a whole lot you can do other than aging it shorter or longer than the other guys. The grain bill is almost always going to be different in most cases, but there's only so much of a difference you can do with that. So I like the idea of playing with a finished bourbon, putting in different different formulations of casks from different products, especially from the wine industry. I think that's really fun. There is another whiskey I'm going to do. Actually, I might do that in the next couple of weeks. Where they use the Dragon Milk Stout beer, put a whiskey in it, and then age the beer back into it. Yeah, I'll explain all that at that time. But yeah, that's I think that's New Holland Brewing Company that did that. Yeah, if I have to rate this, I'm gonna give this 88 points, maybe 88 plus. It would definitely be a 91 or 92 at a higher alcohol content, just because I think it would boost it that much more. It would stand up to the sweetness a little bit better. Some of you guys are gonna freaking love this stuff. Some of you, it might be a little too sweet for you. You know, what can I say? You know, if you have a bottle and you don't like it, mix it in some maple syrup, and next time you make French toast, there you go. That's one way to use it up. All right. Yeah, so with that said, I'll be trying to get you guys another video here next week, and I don't know what I'm going to use yet. So I'll catch you guys on the flip side, and of course, please, 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 if you've had Angel's Envy, whether you hated it, liked it, loved it, whatever, leave a comment, interface with me, so that I know that you know that I know that we're on the same page, or a different page, whatever. I'll catch you guys on the flip side.